Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, Britt, Christiane. Good afternoon. Welcome back, Anisha. Good morning, Amy. Want to get this situated here. Good morning, Wendy. Let's just take a moment to bask together. And just to feel the collective energy, the collective intention to be here today. Breathe that into your heart. Feel it open and expand. Send love and well wishes and warmth outward to those here now who will be joining, and the IT community at large and beyond, to the entire planet. Hello, Maria. Yes, Britt. Wonderful, Anisha. Yes, so we're here for our regularly scheduled weekend live stream. So today we will open with a period of discussion, wherever that may lead, followed by diving into a collective card reading for those of you here. So it's for everybody. So yeah, it's for you if you care to receive it. Or if you're watching the replay, it's also for you. And then we will do Reiki and Ancestral Clearing at the end. Hi, Kelly, Andrea. Thank you, Maria, for the donation. So if anybody feels the call to donate, always welcomed. And don't forget to follow me here so you can be notified of lives coming up. So this week, Christmas week, I'm going live Christmas morning. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I like to keep things simple and just say everything in Eastern. And I just rescheduled the Convos with God live that was Thursday evening in the West, because I'm traveling, and so it is scheduled. It's not published yet, but it will soon be, for basically next Saturday morning around the same time as we had it yesterday. I know many of you were there. Super powerful. Watch the replay on my channel in the live stream section, my YouTube channel. And so we will have our final Conversations with God for now live stream book reading. We will finish the book next weekend, so join for that. Even if you've never heard it before, join in. Hi, Nancy, welcome. Kay, hello. So that's what's coming this week. Christmas morning will be a self-care live with a giveaway at the end of a gifted session with me. Yeah, so Kelly's talking about the Conversations with God. It's a book series of 4 books. Yeah, so we have read book 1 in a year it's taken, and we will finish it. So, yeah. Hi, Friendly Pause. So, how's everybody doing? We're going to have the card reading will be for this week. And yeah, for everybody that's joining in, I want to open, I feel like jumping in with Michael Singer's voice. As y'all know, I call myself a singer slut. And as y'all maybe know, I told him that I've coined that phrase when I met him a month ago. So I've got my wonderful signed cards from him. So I feel like he is like here with us. And like he is speaking through the quote. And I also do live streams going over his talks. So stay tuned in January for more of that. Hi, J.E. Yeah, so let's just get a Michael Singer quote. And if you don't know who he is, I have these wonderful handy cards of his books. I just love having these visual aids after going to his place last month. So these are his books. Most people know this if they don't know anything else. Untethered Soul. So yeah, he's the author of those. I quote and talk about him all the time as an amazing spiritual teacher. So let's see what quote from Untethered Soul comes out just to start our time together right now. The topic is living life, and the quote is, you should, he's using a should here. Y'all know how I feel about shoulds. You should be experiencing the life that's happening to you, not the one you wish was happening. Don't waste a moment of life trying to make other things happen. Appreciate the moments you are given. You should be experiencing the life that's happening to you, not the one you wish was happening. Don't waste a moment of life trying to make other things happen. Appreciate the moments you are given. So I call him spiritual tough love. And this is why. You can hear it in his quote. Yeah, he's very direct and tells the truth. And it's like, if you want awakening, if you really want to awaken, if you really want to be free from suffering, then you will. You will practice, experiment with experiencing the life that's happening to you right now in this moment, which is the only life we ever can experience, not the one you wish is happening. It's a waste of time. Don't waste a moment of life trying to make other things happen. Appreciate the moments you are given. I notice that's hitting my ego wants to argue with his quote. Isn't that interesting? So, that hits for me because where I'm at now, I just moved back to Mexico after 6 years from Asia, after a whirlwind and intense visit home to the U.S. after 6 years for a month, into the fire of family. And here I am now in this beautiful, amazing city in Mexico. And I see I have a big preference here of not preferring to live here. And it's taken a lot of noticing noticing the default mode, just living default. I don't like it. And having the list of reasons why. And then judging myself as wrong for not liking it and not preferring it. Because what happens when we go on, live the spiritual path is then there's this extra layer of ego, the spiritual ego, that comes in and judges everything against how I should be spiritually. And it's like, oh, well, you should be able to be happy wherever you are, so why aren't you? So that layer of ego and judgment has been here. So I've gotten and get to continually work with myself on that. And not like I notice the mind is making me wrong for not liking it here and wanting to be here. And really, it is quite low-hanging fruit because I have the freedom to do and go wherever I want. So, yeah. And there's disappointment because there was big expectation. So those of y'all that know me know I've been in 12-step programs most of my life. And one of the things in AA, that I learned many years ago is, expectations lead to disappointment always. The higher the expectation, the higher the potential for disappointment. The lower the expectation, the lower the potential for disappointment. So I had high expectations coming back here. So that's on me. And I get to work with that part and be like, everything's working out for me. How is this a part of everything working out for me? This step is, needed and necessary and fills some purpose. Maybe I can't see in this moment that I'm supposed to be here. It might even be that I'm supposed to be here because it was, I can make up any reason I can put onto the reality of I am here in this place and there's a preference. Andrea's in the same boat. Yeah, I hear you. I get that. Yeah, J.E. Hi, Brooke. Welcome back. Friend of Bill for 9 years. Awesome. I know we have many friends of Bill here. Yeah, so it's working with that part. And the thing that my mind does, and I know I'm not alone, there's a part it makes me wrong. I'm wanting, there's a pattern of making myself wrong for how I feel. So, yeah, so that's all here. And there's even a part that's like embarrassed or doesn't want to share this with you because I'm supposed to be like, somebody, somebody, whatever that is. And I know, so there's all these layers. There's all of these layers of ego and self and mind and conditioning and programming, and that's what we get to work with. Yeah. So, this quote brings up for me the life that I wish was happening is I wish I was in bliss here. And I can be, because it's possible to be in bliss anywhere. So it really is a waste of time from this energy to try and make something happen. So I read this Michael Singer quote from his book, The Surrender Experiment, his memoir. I've pretty much memorized it, but it's basically the essence of what that book is about, his surrender experiment of his life. And he says, I realized that the process of surrender was done in two very simple steps. First, to let go of the reactions of like and dislike that form inside the mind and heart. So there's a reaction of like and dislike happening, like and or dislike. There's a preference. There's a reaction of like and dislike forming inside the mind and heart. So letting go of that reaction and the thoughts associated with it. And with that resultant sense of clarity, we simply look to see what is being asked of the moment unfolding in front of us. What would I be doing if I wasn't being influenced by the personal reactions of like and dislike? Taking this path, so he says, taking this path has led me in a very different place than my preferences would have led me. So that's really the essence of it. There's a reaction, there's a personal reaction of like and dislike. So letting go of that, surrendering, relaxing and releasing. So I'm sure everybody here has their own examples coming up in their mind of how they have or are doing this. So if I wasn't influenced by like and dislike, I look to see what's being asked in the moment unfolding in front of me. In this moment right now, there's nothing to do but be here with you in my full presence. And things have unfolded. I am going tomorrow to the town I used to live in Mexico that I absolutely adored and loved. And I have a preference to live there. So I'm going to go see. I'm going to see. So I will be joining you live on Christmas morning from there. What a perfect unfolding. So I also want to just briefly share, and please follow me here, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, check my website. I just published a post yesterday that I wrote on the wonderful solstice because it's my 4-year anniversary of being in this role as a spiritual life coach. And it's such a special anniversary for me. And I would invite you to read the post. If you're interested, you can send me a message. I can send it, or you can find it on my socials. But it's a really powerful story because it models, how mindset is so powerful. I was in a job for 12 and a half years in which I got a paycheck. And I started that job in 2008 when my life was very different. 5 years later, in 2013, I left the US and I worked remote with this same job. And I had that job remotely for 8 years, living nomadically as I do, but having the corporate job. The last 5 years of that job, I hated it. And I felt trapped in it. My mindset was, this is the only job I can have in which I can have this lifestyle and this pay, having an American job and living all over the world, etc. So I felt trapped and stuck. And so I stayed trapped and stuck in that job, completely miserable. And for probably like 5 years. And as, the time went on, just I hated it more and more and felt more stuck, more trapped. The workplace was more toxic. Until 4 years ago yesterday, I had a tower moment. And it happened to be the day of Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that happens. It was the closest they'd been in 400 years. They were like at 1 degree or 0 degrees conjunct. So it was a very special solstice because of that as well. And my work had called a meeting with me at midnight that day. I was in Thailand at the time. And I was just like, oh shit, what is this meeting gonna be? I was terrified because I knew something was gonna happen. And guess what? They told me, if you don't move back to the US and start working in the office on February 1st, you have no more job. So it totally blew my mind and was a tower moment, one of the biggest tower moments of my life. And yet, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because it forced me out, into the unknown. And like seriously, 10 days before that, I had had a session with a life coach and said, I've been thinking about becoming a life coach. And she was like, well, start right now. You can do it. And I'd already coached a few people before this work meeting. So then when this work meeting happened, I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to start this life coaching now. And I did. So the full post is on my social media. So if anybody here feels stuck, and it doesn't have to be a job, but it could be, or a relationship, or a mindset, or a way you see yourself, it's a really powerful story of, despite myself, despite me staying in fear, totally not having faith, clinging to that job with every fiber of my being, that when it was time, the universe forced me out and into, it just, everything came together. And, I've never looked back. I've never regretted it. It's just like getting sober. It's kind of like a getting sober moment. I got sober in 1999. It's similar to that as far as like feeling like I was pushed and forced. I was looking at 30 years of federal prison in my alcohol and drug addiction. So if anyone is facing like what they feel might be a rock bottom, or like, this is the worst circumstance ever, I'm here to say, like, trust, relax and release, one day at a time, one moment at a time. You don't know how things can turn out, and what might look like, the worst thing ever could turn into something amazing. Ooh, nice, Brooke. And actually, speaking to the 12-step idea, the way I even got to the idea that I think I could become a life coach was because I got reintroduced to, I got introduced to a certain big book, AA big book study that changed my life forever. So even before that, like 5 years ago, I said yes to this big book study which really is the thing that led me here as well. So, all right. So I want to pull one of these Sacred Rebel cards. A friend gave these to me years ago, but I didn't take them with me to Asia. So they're not new, but they're new again. The artwork's beautiful. We used these the other week. So we're going to get into the collective reading now. So this is for everybody here listening. Take what you like and leave the rest. If something doesn't fit, don't force it. And we'll just see what Spirit has to say. I love this because it's ancestors. You know, the wise one, the present, and the young. All right. Ooh, beautiful. Conscious connections. Conscious connections. So what this means is that in this coming week, in this time right now, that you creating conscious connections with others is really it's extra called for right now, which makes sense with the holiday season. You know, it's an intense time of year. It's intense with events, it's intense with energy, it's intense with pain body and past, it's intense with family, it's intense with expectations, societal, cultural, familial, friends, like all sorts of energies are here. Or if there's anybody here who has extracted themselves from all of that, there can be loneliness and isolation. So, there's all sorts of things that can be going on at this time. So it's really important for you to reach out and create and connect and make conscious connections. Yeah, and the artwork is beautiful for sure. I'm going to look at the guidebook as well. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to see if there's any nuggets to pull out. So it says, if you've been asking for healing in your current friendships or other immediate relationships, know that this can happen through your willingness to express your true feelings and allow the situations to either fall apart or come together according to the greater workings of life. Remain open to healing connections and to allow people to be close to you. Trust in the process that draws people in and out of your life. Resist nothing, surrender, and seek wisdom in all. So this could be specifically, there might be some of you in a place of questioning about a relationship of any kind. And there might be some of you here who, and I want you to tune into this, are you trying to force a connection? Are you trying to cling to keep a connection alive? Or is there maybe a relationship or a connection in your world where you might be feeling resistance, where it might be a place to open and maybe surrender to a new connection? Hi, Jacob. Totally. I hear you on that. So it could be either way. And I think that the Michael Singer quote, it fits with everything. But looking at just being with what's happening, releasing resistance, allowing things to unfold. I have an example where I have a very close friend, or I did have a very close friend in the town I'm going to tomorrow where I used to live. and I want to reconnect with her, but I have this feeling that there's resistance there from her side. And I notice, the part that wants to cling, the part that's making assumptions, the part that's making up stories and interpretations, even though there's nothing in the actual reality, but it's an energy that I'm perceiving. So this is perfect for that sort of a situation of just like, don't force anything, let people come in and out of your life, and be open to connecting. So let's see what else Spirit has to say in the clarification. We always got this good old card, like every single time it's at the bottom. Ooh, oh my gosh. Look what card is popping out. It was... Seriously, you can't make this shit up. It just popped. Okay. We'll take the Page of Wands again. It's the Page of Wands. I'm going to show y'all. But I noticed it at the bottom, and then as I was shuffling, it popped out. So let's see what the clarification is. Okay, sometimes we have poppers, and sometimes I just feel like stopping and cutting the deck. Wait. And then sometimes my mind will get in the way. Hi, Duchess. And then I've got to do it again. Okay. We've got another page here. So we've got good old Page of Wands, Page of Cups, Five of Wands, Eight of Cups. So these energies that are coming out here are just like energies of the day and energies of the moment. This is not like tower moments like I described with my job. These are not like major turning point moments. The energies here are day-to-day life moments, like things that they're not a big deal, because there's no what we call major arcana here. There's just we've got these pages, we've got the Five of Wands, and we've got the Eight of Cups. So in thinking about like the conscious connections card that came up, some of you might be excited about a new connection, and it might even be a love connection. It might be somebody younger than you. And again, it could be a friendship as well. But there's excitement here. There's a new opportunity. There's a new possibility for some sort of connection that's coming. Now, the thing is, with this Five of Wands, there's going to be some pettiness coming in. The Five of Wands is a card about petty disagreements and also immaturity. Pages also can be immature. So it could be the people that are immature here. If this is you, it might be bringing out like that part of you that feels immature or young or hot-headed. in meeting this. This could be whatever, it doesn't matter about gender, but it is a male in this card. Yeah, there might be some new romantic connection happening, or maybe a new friendship, and maybe you have a pattern of in the past of like, when you even meet a new friend, it's like, oh, let's do things together all the time. Yeah, I mean, so Jacob, this is for everybody. So whatever's coming up for you, if it feels like it fits, yes. So it could be a renewed connection. And it might feel really good in the beginning if it's a new friend or lover or renewed coming back to a connection. The thing is, you're very quickly going to find like there's this sense of competition that comes up, or maybe it's like, oh, let me tell you about what I've been up to. Oh yeah, well, I've been doing this, like a one-up thing going on. And I feel like coming into Christmas week, there's going to be many of you coming back into, meeting with family. So I feel like it's bringing up like old, like immature childhood ways of being. I don't know about y'all, but I know when I go back to my family of origin, especially around my mother, I feel like I revert back to the child that just wants approval and is seeking, and like it's harder to access that higher part of me. So I feel like some of you, that may happen. You may feel really excited about coming back together, but then it's just going to be like this petty drama again. Because the thing with this card, these people, look at them, they're actually like young men, like teenager guys, or early 20s. They're not like muscly and strong, and they're also like, they don't have armor on or anything, like, so they're not people that are going into a battle. They're just kind of playing around, and they have these wands where you can't really even do much damage. So it's just like, I just want to say, like, petty bullshit energy. So please, if this is relating, I see some of you are saying it is. Please remember, as you go into these experiences this week, to remember the truth of who you truly are. You are a sovereign being. You are conscious, and that you bring like-minded people with you. And it might be support that's, you're not going to, I mean, some of you might bring somebody literally with you, or it might just be that you reach out and be like, hey, is it okay when the pettiness starts? Like, can I call you? Or maybe you're part of a 12-step group and you're going to go to extra meetings on Zoom this week, or wherever you are, something like that. But just remember your sovereignty here. And I feel like there's something to be said about being vulnerable as well, because obviously these figures are very vulnerable. They're like pretty much naked. And even here, like I said, they're not wearing armor, they're not protected. You stay in your own joy, like stay in your own lane. Stay in looking up, connected to source. How can you ground yourself back into that when this arises? Welcome, Raymond. And honestly, there's going to be something occur for some of you where there's going to be a walking away. And there's either going to be just a disappointment, like, oh, it's like this again, like either a disappointment in the dynamics, like the family dynamics or the whatever, the home dynamics or the relationship dynamics, and or you're going to put that judgment back on yourself, kind of like I described in me moving here and feeling disappointment of like, well, I shouldn't feel this way because I'm more evolved than this. So there might be also a propensity for you to then be disappointed in yourself. Well, after all the work I've done, after all the growth, I should be more spiritual. I shouldn't let it bother me. I shouldn't let this bother me. But it does. And, as we all know, like the judging ourselves is just not helpful. And it's old systems, it's old, deeply ingrained patterns that take time to unravel. And so you even, doing the Michael Singer thing of being present, being with the moment unfolding in front of you, doing your best to be the witness, be the observer, be in appreciation, and take it lightly. Take it with a grain of salt. When you see the shit show happening, like laugh at it. I was on a call last night with somebody that I'm working with, and they were describing a situation in which it was very serious. Like the way they were feeling and the way they perceived it was like, oh my God, this like super serious situation. And me on the outside, I'm just like, as the objective observer, which is part of my role as a life coach, is to be that objective observer on the outside and to shine a light on the, things within the situation that I see or blind spots that I see. What I saw was like they were taking it so damn seriously, and it really was not a big deal at all. So, and it wasn't about like discounting their feelings, but just really shining a light on this really was nothing. And I said, isn't it interesting like how serious you made this? Because basically the person was in charge of this event, and they were like the director of this event, and some people took it upon themselves to totally it was like a school event, so they had the kids get on the stage and just like pretend like they were singing in the group, and she totally had a big issue with it. And I was like, when we don't bring the seriousness of the ego in, it's like some kids got on the stage. That's it. That's all that actually occurred. And they were like, oh my God, you're so right. And they'd created so much suffering. And the Course in Miracles talks about this, that the ego, it's serious. Everything is serious. And the ego is either in attack or defense. And it ranges from suspicion to viciousness. So be really mindful of that coming up this week, because it can make these situations get vicious. The pain body of the past, as Eckhart Tolle talks about. It can feel so deep and serious and toxic, because it's not about like the thing happening right now. It's about all of the unhealed energy and all of the samskaric, seeds that are here, in which this situation touches upon and activates because it's ready for healing. So just do your best, get your support from like-minded souls, and keep that energy, keep that lightness, keep that, like, oh yeah, for me, I think about me going back home for visiting. I was definitely coming into the visit with this energy, and then all of this came up. And I did my best, bless my heart, and you will too. But do your best to orient back to this. Feeling love, feeling excitement, feeling passion, presence, connection. And you may walk away, and that's going to be, you're going to do it from a different energy now. It's not going to be like, well, I'll show you. It's going to be from a place of this energy, sovereignty, your sovereign self and power, authenticity, and then choosing. And not like, instead of it coming, it's not a boundary made from reactivity, and it's not a boundary made from, from this energy. It's going to be from nobility, blessing the situation, and you taking care of yourself and walking away and looking ahead. There's a light in the distance, and you are keeping your eye on that. Blessing, releasing if you need to. It might not be forever. It just might be, it might be walking out of the room and, centering yourself. Or it might be walking away forever or for now. Everybody's different. So just to say, like, it's a complex time of year with lots of dynamics and energy going on. So please be gentle with yourself and give yourself a break. And I was about to put these cards away, and then I just picked up the next card. It's the Ten of Pentacles. So there's two, like, happy family cards in the deck, and this is one of them. Ten of Pentacles. This is a card of legacy. This is a card of what legacy are you going to leave. You can see generations here. So you being the one to, like, break the cycles in that, and you not falling asleep into the programming, into the dysfunction, but you keeping your presence, your connection, getting the support you need. You're going to ultimately create this. And it might be like walking away from the systems that don't work, because you're going to create a new system here. And Pentacles too are about financial wealth. So you could even look at this as like your internal family system. I know many of you are familiar with that IFS work. And really, we have, these parts inside, which is kind of what I was describing as well. So when you come into alignment within yourself, in the inner world, in the outer world, all of these dynamics, it's about you also creating, financial freedom for yourself and for those in your family system. I want to read the Ten of Pentacles description from the Light Seers because this can be part of the intention that you go into this week with. And yeah, I get to change my glasses. So as y'all know, these Light Seers cards have affirmations. So the affirmation for this is, I am successful and I share my wealth and joy with those I love. So your ultimate outcome is success, whatever that looks like. And as I said, the pentacles are money and finances. I am successful and I share my wealth and joy with those I love. So you share it with those you love, not those you feel obligation to. So this card means spiritual and material abundance, community, generosity, wealth, prosperity, building a legacy, conventional ideas of wealth and money, and positive outcomes. So, when you're going through this journey that these cards have described, from this to, to this, the outcome will be positive. You might not be able to immediately see that. And it might be like a multi-dimensional thing, like it might be something down the line that happens that later you'll be able to see it and tie it all together. Okay, I'm just reading this. So it's talking about the people on the card here, so this would be you, so you can make it into your own first person. But it's talking about the family here. They've been co-creating this life for some time. Their place, their family, their friends, their life. They've learned along the way that it doesn't have to be difficult or hard, even though they used to think that it did way back when they were traveling through the Five of Pentacles energy of loss. They've learned that the flow of abundance comes to those who are generous enough to know they deserve it, and that the energy of money can take many forms. The form that makes them the happiest, however, is the energy of being able to celebrate with those they love. On days like today, when everyone is looked after, the meals are prepared, they are all sheltered and warm, and each and every person in their circle knows that they will never do without. They dance beneath their pentacle chandelier, and as a connected community, they enjoy and witness everyone's dance along the tree of life. Step by step, they build their dream life together. The message is, oh baby, this is the big one. All the love, abundance, and joy that you can muster in your heart, it's coming your way and it's coming fast. It's time to prepare for its arrival and enjoy this commitment to your long-term success. This energy is so big, in fact, that you should be prepared to spread some of this around with complete generosity and joy. When you are able to bring an abundance of positive energy into your life, things shift around you, and your avenues become clearer with significantly more opportunity and connection. Your happy and abundant community is emerging, and circumstances click into place almost effortlessly as perceptions change. You are one small move away from seeing the bigger picture and from shining light on a legacy of earth energy that is yours. Say yes to this Pentacles miracle. The universe wants you to lead a happy, healthy, and wealthy life, and material stability is on the way. It's time to taste the pleasures of life and to step into this state of consciousness that says, yes, I am worthy of all this success. Questions to ask yourself. How does wealth affect your feelings of abundance? Do you tend to save more when you acquire more, or does it make you more generous? This card often speaks of conventional wealth. What are your money goals? How comfortable are you with the idea of being rich? Are you inadvertently pushing money away because you dislike those with it or think it is evil? So this card also brings up questions of conventional ideas about money. So there's a multi-dimensionality in this message where it might look like one thing and it might look one way, but it's tied to something much bigger. Beautiful, Jacob. Kelly. Thank you, Wendy, for the donation. All right. So this is all tied to relationships, as everything is. Yeah, and I feel like there's something around family dynamics and wealth and legacy, and maybe some of you, it might be that about inheritance or the family money or the way that's distributed or the energy you feel around it. There's something around that too. So this card gives a healing process that I want to bring in as well. And this is around like the earlier dynamics I was talking about. So just take in these words if they resonate. I surrender my relationships into unconditional love and ask that the truly nourishing, soul-enriching, expansive, and nurturing relationships be healed and drawn closer to my heart. I ask that the draining, depleting, destructive, or toxic relationships be drawn out of my life through unconditional love, mercy, grace, and my own free will. So be it. So, powerful messages for today. Don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. Give a donation if you feel called to. This will be available as a video upload on my YouTube within the next days if you want to revisit it. And you can also check me out, follow me there, Facebook, Instagram, check out my website. I am offering, for those who have never had a session with me before, the gift of my life visioning session that's perfect for this time of year, where we are going to look back, and we can either look back at 2024 or just look at where your life is now, really diving into that, and then looking at where you want to go and what you want to create into 2025 and beyond. So that's a $997 value that I'm gifting. If you haven't had a session with me, send me a private message. Hi Jen, haven't seen you in a long while, glad to see you. So we're going to go into the Reiki and Ancestral Clearing part of the session now, which the card reading was very much a lot about ancestral, dynamics, generational dynamics, especially going into, this holiday week. Great, Amy, glad to hear that. So, I invite you all to close your eyes and to settle in to these sacred moments together here and now that we are creating. And just move the body, get the body settled. And just relax and release. Allow gravity to do its thing, meaning allow it to pull you even deeper into the surface that you're on. Don't strain against it. We spend our lives, moving against gravity. So in this moment now, just notice where you do that, where you hold the body unnecessarily, and relax and release even more and more. With each out breath, just let the body relax. Dr. Usui, Madam Takata, all the Reiki Grandmasters, beings responsible for bringing Reiki into this world. Daikomyo, Daikomyo, Daikomyo. If you have an intention for where you would like the Reiki healing, you can have that internally within yourself and know that your higher self will draw the Reiki in exactly in the way and where it needs to go that is perfect for you right now. And just surrender and allow. Tune into your heart center. And just allow that center to relax, soften, expand. And just let go when the mind comes in, as it does. Just notice. You can even say thank you. Thanks for sharing. And then go back to focusing on breathing into the heart. Relaxing the body, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyes, relaxing the face. And just welcoming everything, all of your experience, allowing all of it to be here. I will now speak an ancestral clearing prayer that you can also relax and allow in if you choose. Divine Creator, Source, Loving Intelligence, thank you for who and what you are. Please bless, expand, open us into your light, love, and life in all ways, completely, now and forever, please and thank you. For everyone hearing this message and this prayer now, for all of our family members, all of our relationships, all of our ancestors and all of their relationships, through all relevant time, space, and dimension. for all hurts, wrongs, judgments, and burdens. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and financial. Through thought, through word, through deed. Please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us. Completely and totally, please and thank you. For any hurts, wrongs, judgments, or burdens around this time of year, any expectations, any assumptions, any judgments, any misdeeds, anything done or left undone. For any situation where illusion takes over, please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us. Completely and totally, please and thank you. Please help us love and bless each other, love and bless ourselves. Be at peace with each other and at peace with ourselves. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. Breathe deeply and slowly into the center of the chest. New energy of possibility, of truth, of light.